Hello my dear students, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we are going to learn class 10 English poem to a pair of Sarus cranes question and answers. And this is part 2 of this question and answer sessions. Part 1 we have already discussed in my earlier video and the explanation of this poem is also done earlier. The link of both the videos will be shared in the description box of this video, so you can go and according to your convenience you can look into it. Okay students, but we'll move towards this session of question and answers. But before that, if you are viewing my video for the first time, do subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get the notifications of my all the latest upcoming videos, and to watch the video till end. And if you like it, hit the like button and share among your friends too. Okay, students, moving on to your question and answers. This is B main in your textbook, close study, and the heading is read the following extract carefully, discuss in pairs, and then write the answers to the questions given below it. So the first question, which is having 3 sub-questions in it, let's start. A wave of the seas she had never seen came to her from far away and carried her to him. So this is a sentence. In this, the first question is, what does the wave of the seas refer to? So when we read the poem, we come across the sentence that a wave of the sea that the bird had never seen. It came and from far away and carried her to him. Means carried the female bird to the male partner who was already dead. So what is this wave of the seas refer to? Is it actually the wave of seas or something else? So the answer is, it's actually the wave of grief. The grief, the sorrow, the pain, it just came and it took everything from the bird all of a sudden. And due to that grief, due to that loss, due to the sadness, the bird stopped eating and drinking and became very weak. And at last, it was also taken away by the water and it was dead. So it is being said as a wave of grief. It's also that we are using here the poet has used many figure of speeches, and one of it is exaggeration, that is hyperbole. That's why he has used these things and many different words to refer. So here the answer is a wave of grief. The wave of seas refer to a wave of grief. Okay, means sorrow. Second sub question, what had not the female bird seen before? What did not the female bird see before, as we read in the sentence? So the answer is, the female bird hadn't known grief or sadness before, because they were a good and a happy pair and they were living together, and she had never experienced or known any loss of the partner. This was for the first time that she was losing something which was very near and dear one to it, and to which she loved a lot, and that was her male partner. So this was for the first time. She was not knowing before. So the answer is, the female bird hadn't known the grief or sadness before. So that is what mentioned here. She had never seen it before. Then, what figure of speech is used in the extract? In this sentence, what is the figure of speech used? So it's personification. What is personification? It's when you give a human quality or a living quality to a non-living thing. So here, carried is the quality, human quality. A carry is a quality which is done by a living being. You can say it is given to a non-living character, that is wave. That wave is carrying. So it is personification. Okay. So here we finish with the first question. Let's move on to the next one. We have a second sub question here, paragraph writing. Here again, you have to write the answers in points and then develop into a paragraph. Here I have already given directly in a paragraph format. You can just remember small words to make it points and remember, students. Okay. It will be more easy. So first one, how is the callousness of a bird's killers brought out in the poem? So how is the cruelty, the you can say the kind of hatred and the kind of offense what they are doing towards the bird? How is it shown here? How the cruelty is shown here? So the answer is, The callousness of the bird killers is brought out in the way the poet describes killing of a male Sarus bird. So here we can come to know the cruelty and um the cruel behavior of these bird killers by the description of the poet. Poet has described the killing of a male Sarus bird in such a manner that we can understand it clearly. See, now he is explaining that it was shot when the bird was trying to pull the reluctant sun out of the water at the rim of the horizon, which was impossible. Means the hunter shot the bird when it was trying to pull its neck and reach the sun. It means it was trying to start its day by pulling its neck above, and it wanted to just fly high and go for the start, was to start the day. And that is what exaggerated here and written as it was just pulling out its neck to touch the reluctant sun, which was impossible. Again, an exaggeration is used. Okay, so when the bird was trying to pull its neck and move out, and it was shot dead. And the hunters were not touched by the beauty of the bird. They did not feel anything about the beauty of the bird or the loss the bird had undergone there. They were just so mean hunters that they just shot it. And after that, they picked up the dead bird by its hands and jaws and flung it into a coarse bag, as if it were a piece of dirty linen, and he put it into a washing bag. So here, the poet further says that after killing so ruthlessly, so in a rude behavior, the hunters came and picked up that dead bird by its hands and jaws and flunging, means the shaking, and just put them in the coarse bag, a dirty bag, a bag where you keep the dirty clothes, like that, the waste clothes, you can say, the racks where you keep it. So he kept it in the coarse bag, a small dirty gunny bag, as if it was a piece of dirty linen. The dead body was carried as if a piece of dirty linen, as if a piece of dirty cloth. And he put it into a washing bag, the bag which he was having in it, as if it is a dirty cloth, and he's putting it into a washing bag. He never felt anything, nor he had a second thought here for the bird. So that was the callousness of the bird killers. So in this manner, the poet has brought out the callousness of the bird killers. Okay. So moving on to the next one. How does the poet bring out the agony and the desperation of the female crane in the poem? Means how has the poet described the pain and the loneliness and the sorrow of the female crane in this poem? So students' answer is the crane's pair had a beautiful life. Having seen its mate shot dead by the hunters and being taken away, the female Saurus is heartbroken. Okay, so the cranes pair, the both the male and female cranes, they had a very beautiful life before, and the moment the female bird saw that the mate had shot dead by the hunters and is taken away by them, by the hunters, the female crane was heartbroken, totally was lost. It was so sad and full of grief. It's that it started to circle around the sky. The bird circled the sky with grace mourning over the disgraceful end of its partner. Okay, so it started just moving so gracefully, means took round and round and just took the circle of the sky because of mourning. Mourning is showing the sadness. When you're sad, when you're out of grief, sitting out of grief, then it's known as mourning. So the because of the partners going away, she was very much in a grief and she was mourning there. Then after the killers had left the place, the female bird returned to the death scene and kept flying around, waiting for its companion with short and long wails resembling the Morse code. Okay, after the killers moved away from the place, from the death scene, carrying the Saurus crane, the female bird, then she returned to that death scene, the place where he had shot dead, and it kept flying around that place wherever the male bird had been shot, and it started wailing, means making the sorts of sound, crying sound, and it resembles the Morse code. Morse code is nothing but the dotted letters which you use in computers, somewhat like that. So it was just expressing the grief here, the sorrow, the amount of sorrow the bird had. and with her beak she kissed the blood-stained feathers of her mate, which the wind had not yet carried away, and sat down to hatch them in the hope she could bring him back to life. So she was so in such a grief and that she has lost her mind that she started kissing the blood-stained feathers which were there, fallen there, which were just remaining there, which had not flown away with the wind. She sat on that. She collected them. She sat on that blood-stained feathers, and she thought that I'll hatch them, and I hope that the partner will be back again. It will come to life again. Such a state of mind it had been of the bird after losing the partner. And this shows the agony and the despair of the bird. From this word, from this sentence, from this action of the birds, female bird, you can make out how much of agony and despair and sorrow and grief the bird had undergone at that time. Okay, so in this way, you can write the answer for this. You can just remember in 2 3 points that how the female bird's life was very good. The after having seen the hunters being hunting or shoot the mate, it was totally heartbroken. It took circles and then it came to the death scene, collected the bloods and feathers and sat on it to hatch and give back the life to the mate. So this shows the agony. So here you can remember in just 4 points, students. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Pick out any two figures of speech used in the poem and explain how they add to the effectiveness of the poem. Okay. So there are many poetic devices which are used, figure of speeches which are used here. In the poem, we have to explain any two of it. We have to pick out any two which has been used in this poem and how they are adding to the effectiveness of the poem, how they are making it more interesting. Okay, so answer is in the first stanza of the poem, it contains hyperbole, which is used to highlight the particular point through exaggeration. Means you have to say more than what happened. You want to highlight it. At that time, you use this hyperbole. The male Sarus crane is shown as if it is starting its neck to pull out the sun from the rim of the horizon, which is an impossible act, yet shows the courage of the crane. Yes, students, here Sarus crane, as I said before, that it was just stretching its neck to pull out and start its day to fly high on the sky. But here the poet has made it in the way that the Sarus crane was trying to touch the sun and the horizon, which was an impossible one act there. So here he has used hyperbole, figure of speech, and that is how he has made the poem. Okay. The second stanza of the poem, it contains the simile, the sentence, the phrase, to lie like a dirty linen. Here you have a poetic device used simile. Okay. The proud, dignified bird was killed and thrown into the washing bag like dirty linen. This reveals the carelessness and the lack of aesthetic sense of hunter. The beautiful bird was just a piece of meat for them. Okay, how the bird was killed, how the cruelty was shown, and there was no sense of humor for the hunter. They did not have any feeling for the birds there, and this beautiful bird was just a piece of meat for the hunters. So when you read this phrase, this line, to lie like a dirty linen, here a comparison is made. A direct comparison is made using the word like. That is why it is simile figure of speech. Students, I hope you all know this. Simile is nothing but direct comparison. Like word is used to compare the dead body of the crane with a dirty linen, right? Dirty linen means dirty cloth. So dead body of crane is compared with the word like to the dirty linen. So direct comparison, it is like a dirty linen. Dead body is like a dirty linen. So here this is simile figure of speech. I hope you understood this, both the figure of speeches and all the question answers, students. So we come to an end of the question answer session of this poem. I hope you understood it and it was informative. If you like this video, do hit the like button. We'll be back soon with more such videos. Thank you.